success look like for him?
To prove like he belongs, to prove that he is an NFL quarterback who can be a starter, to not be the headline all of the time. Looking at that quarterback room, he's likely going to get some time on the field. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I imagine if Shedeur Sanders goes into Cleveland and has his head down and he just works, shows what he can do from a football standpoint and isn't the headline, it's not all of this external stuff that leading into the draft so many prognosticated would be an issue with whatever organization he goes to. Don't be the storyline, or if you're the storyline, make sure it's just for football reasons. Have that chip on your shoulder and prove like you belong.
Yeah, for me, it's be good enough to take the Browns out of the quarterback business in 2026. By virtue of what your overall record is, your draft position is. I know the Browns have 2 first-round draft picks, but convince Cleveland and that front office that they don't need to use those 2 first-round draft picks to bring in yet another quarterback. If he can do that, it is a wildly successful rookie year, and it's more in line with what we thought the pre-draft evaluation on Shedeur was, which is somebody that is a good prospect that in the right hands can develop into a true game changer at the next level.
All right, coming up, we're going to dive back into what happened last night between the Bucs and the Pacers. Halliburton's dad versus a game. James Harden, by the way, another James Harden playoff game. Not great.
Man, that was
the Clippers
brutal.
The Nuggets.
Brutal. The only one that showed up to do his job, well, 2 people, Kawhi Leonard and Zubats. Zubats balled.
It's been their 2 best players, arguably, all year. I mean, if you think about it, both sides of the ball, specifically on Zubac defensively, is amazing. So we just brought up something very interesting about judging success for these rookie quarterbacks. Again, we're less than a week away, removed from the draft. It's still unbelievably hot here in terms of conversation. The idea of literally a coach sticking around for another year is a mark of success. It really does make sense. But I'm going to throw out some rookie quarterbacks, and you tell me, because now I'm looking at this, my whole mind is different about at least the second one as to what the success looks like. I'm going to give you a rookie QB. You tell me what success looks like for them. Let's start with Tyler Shuck, who is the 40th pick overall by the New Orleans Saints. What does success look like for him?
Don't be last. Don't finish in last place in the NFC South. It feels like out of all of the quarterbacks that were taken, it's Cam Ward and Tyler Shuck that have the best chances of being the day one starter, especially with all of the uncertainty around what's going on with Derek Carr. Don't be last. That team has invested a lot in the offensive line around you being solid. You got Alvin Kamara in the backfield. You got Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed as weapons to get the football to. Oh, by the way, we brought back Brandon Cooks. So you have pretty good supporting cast on the offensive side of the ball. Just don't be last. In what is one of the easiest divisions in all of pro football, don't finish in last place. If they can avoid doing that, then I think the Saints can feel good about what their future is looking at, especially with being able to solidify the quarterback position.
Yeah, I was in a similar lane there. I wrote be competitive, because Kellen Moore was talking about how his age, and remember Tyler Shuck is 26 years old, is an asset because he's ready, he's prepared. He keeps talking about how he's going to compete. He's going to compete in that quarterback room, and with Derek Carr's shoulder, I imagine we're going to see him out there. So just be competitive. Put the New Orleans Saints in a position to be competitive and start being relevant again.
So are you guys just both assuming he's going to win the starting job? Because
Yes.
I would say success is be the day one starter. I think that's completely unfair to literally anyone in the draft other than Cam Ward, except for this guy.
Well, if he's not the starting quarterback, given what Derek Carr is dealing with from a shoulder injury standpoint, who's it going to be?
Right. So if you lose the job to Spencer Rattler
or Jake Haener,
that's what I'm saying.
If he doesn't beat those guys out in training camp, then that was a miss by the front office for the Saints for drafting him with the 40th overall pick.
Could not agree more.
But I would say this. I don't care what the record is. So I think success with this guy is win the job, because 2 ways on this. If your record's good, then you found someone. If your record's not, you're going to the top of the draft next year in a quarterback-heavy draft, which, by the way, may not include Arch Manning. You may have to update the awful for Arch. There's a lot of buzz that Arch Manning will not come out.
Don't do that. Don't speak that. Just stop.
Okay, so hold on.
We're doing something else. Don't get into that.
Don't bum him out.
Literally, that's the next one, though. Gets into that. So Jackson Dart, what does success look like? And did the Giants draft him thinking that Arch is not coming out next year? Success
looks like Jackson Dart not seeing the field this year.
Same thing.
Period. Everybody that I've talked to said this kid needs time to bake. There are a lot of physical attributes, a lot of things to like. He's got the dominant physical traits, but he needs to adjust to the learning curve that is the step up in competition with the big boys at the pro ranks. So Ideally, Jackson Dart doesn't see the field for the New York Giants. If he doesn't see the field, that means the team is more competitive than everybody assumed they would be. That means that Brian Daboll and Joe Shane stand a good chance at being able to come back. If Jackson Dart is forced into duty sooner rather than later, then things have gone terribly wrong, and it's a play for the GM and the head coach to save their jobs, and I hate it because you're...
To extend your runway is to infuse hope into the fan base. What's a better way to do that if things are going south? Put out the shiny new toy at quarterback. And I think that will be detrimental to not only the organization, but to Jackson Dart individually. Do not ruin him year one.
The Arch conversation very much plays into this. You wore the... Does the Awful for Arch shirt have a year on it?
No, it just has the Giants
Good.
logo on it.
That was good. If you had a year on it, that could be a problem because
you could be awful for a while.
Awful for
They have
Arch
been. They've
for
been the
years.
worst team in the league since 2017.
So you could get him either way.
Nobody
This
has
year or
more
next year.
losses since 2017 than the New York Giants. They got 91 losses since 2017.
My gosh.
It's a lot of losing, dog.
For a once very proud franchise.
If they would have had 92 losses, we would have Cam Ward as our quarterback.
That
Maybe.
one win. Man.
They beat the Colts. For why and for what?
Shefty said it on his podcast.
I love Abdul Carter, but for why and
Oh,
for
that
what?
is not. Yeah, you could love him and also say, "I wish we had Cam Ward." Shefty said it on his podcast leading into the draft. Go on the ESPN app and listen to Adam Schefter Pod. Maybe the most important thing leading into the draft was the Giants Colts game and how it changed the draft because of the fact that the Giants ended up winning the game. What does success look like this year for new Cleveland Brown Shedeur Sanders?
Tiếp tục với các sáng các bạn. Rồi sẽ in nha. Mình ra cái giờ mình chạy sáng.
Ra ngoài thì đóng cửa cho cô nha.
Trước anh kia có hướng dẫn nói như một YouTuber chuyên nghiệp, cực kỳ là chất. Bây giờ
Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay mình sẽ hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng bằng hạt nhựa màu trắng. Bây giờ mình sẽ bắt đầu làm nhé.
lúc đó bạn này anh kia hướng dẫn nói như một YouTuber chuyên nghiệp luôn.
Lúc chị mới vào cũng thế, xong chị nói nhiều vãi. Mãi sau chúng nó mới bảo là không cần nói anh được.
Đấy là anh Công bảo mày nói ít thôi không? Thế cầm luôn. Mày nói ít thôi nhưng anh ơi. Thì đó tiếp tục với các sáng xong nói với quản lý. Bây giờ sẽ cắt này. Đấy mà Sơn các bạn là làm tô màu này xong sau lại một lần sau lại đến các dạng lại lấy cái giày nữa làm thâu.
Nó kiểu nó cứ đủ, nó cứ đủ là lại đủ.
Cái này được, cái kia thiếu.
Long trở về thì đắp mặt nạ cho. Xong rồi pha cà phê, xong còn cạn cà phê đắp mặt nạ. Nhưng mà quên mất.
Mr. Beat của chị em
Không phải, cái này nó mặt nạ nó sáng ra mà.
thế da trắng hơn nữa chị.
Cho cả sữa chua vào nó sáng ra hơn mà.
Sữa chua có đường không?
Sữa chua không được, hoặc là dầu dừa. Nhưng mà chị quên mất chị không mua sữa chua. Chị đang đặt dầu dừa là chưa về.
Rồi chứ không lấy sữa chua tôi ăn chả thấy cái vị gì của chị hơn không? Ăn cái vị này nói là sữa chua không đường, ai đó đập lại của con gái thì thế.
Mua sữa chua toàn thế.
Tưởng là sữa chua có đường. Nhà phòng mới mua nhà cho không kịp một thùng cho. Thế còn dồn hết lại cho 3 hộp lên cái mặt thì đã cái đường.
Không đường.
Là ta sữa chua gì sẽ có đường hơn. Cả nước ra còn bông ra lại tôi ngày xưa vẫn nhớ cái lần đi học, vẫn nhớ cái lần học mầm non bố mua sữa không đường một cửa nhưng một tốc độ ảnh hưởng ra sữa không đường.
Nhà chị nhiều sữa lắm nhưng mà toàn sữa qua đường. Thằng chó này đi đâu cốc cà phê thì nó không uống đi.
Đi pha cà phê khen ngon xong uống có vào hết rồi. Uống cà phê kiểu dậy.
Có phải chị pha cà phê phin mà, chị lọc cà phê phin mà, có phải cà phê sữa gói đâu.
Uống cà phê phin cho